In the 300 years since the death of the Druid Alanon, the mysterious, evil Shadowin have seized control and are ruining the Four Lands. Using Cogline as messenger, the Shade of Alanon summons the four scions of Shannara: Par, Cole, Rin, and Walker Bow. To Walker Bow, he gives the duty of restoring the lost Druid's keep, Paranor. For that, Walker needs the Black Elf Stone, but his search leads him only to a trap. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host, Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Terry Brooks' The Druid of Shannara. The Druid of Shannara is a 1991 novel by Terry Brooks, and not to be confused with the series The Druid of Shannara. It is Book 2 in the Heritage of Shannara. I've previously done a review for Book 1, which is The Scions of Shannara. That was probably about a year ago, and that's the only Shannara book I've reviewed on this channel as well. The King of the Silver River, Lord of Fairy since its inception, is the last of his kind. He thinks of how the Druids are gone, how his eternal domain is shrinking, and the Shadowin rising. He hopes to aid the Shannaras. He is a godlike being as he forms a living thing to be this aid. Walker Bow awakes and thinks about his pain in his quest to reclaim Paranor for the Four Lands and find the Black Elf Stone, something the Shade of Alanon told him to do. He is trapped in the Hall of Kings with the Sphinx. Cogline aids, and Rin is on her own. The rover looking for the elves. She goes to the seer known as Addershag, and overall Rin gets very little attention in this book. Morgan Lee has been separated from Par and Cole and finds himself without friends. He looks at the orphanage now empty. This is in Coalhaven, as he promised Stephens to return. With Walker, Morgan gets the most time in this book. Pei El is an assassin working with the Shadowin, Rimmer Doll. He comes into contact with Quickening early. It starts dark, and I feel like some of the things make it more adult than the first series, though Elfstones wasn't exactly a walk in the park. It did seem kind of young adult in some ways. This book deals with destiny and when you are allowed to die, and when, and what you must do, essentially, as pertaining to your destiny. We learn much of Walker Bow's backstory, from his birth in Hearthstone to Shady Vale. While older than Par and Cole, he isn't much older, actually, and he isn't actually their uncle either, though he seems much older in the way he's described to me, but I guess I have to get rid of that image. Par thinks Cole is dead, and Cole's captor tries to turn him against Par and Alanon. There is much deception going on here, and I would say it's a deception more confusing for the characters, because I feel it was obviously lies to the reader, but the reader has the pleasure of getting some of the bad guys' point of views as well. So I guess I could say it's not that awful, though. Maybe a less experienced reader could be second-guessing themselves. We are introduced to Erdos. They're a gnome in troll mix. We also learn of the King of Stone and his son, the Mogrint. These, along with the Rake, are present in an ancient city called Eldwist. The happenings of Eldwist are pretty awesome, but take way too long, in my opinion, making this story really drag at times. And honestly, the Eldwist stuff is basically all the ancient stuff that is long past in ruins. That's the coolest part of this novel. Overall, it's not that great, in my opinion. I wasn't a huge fan of Scions either. I'm still very much sitting comfortably thinking that the Elfstones of Shannara is the best one I've read, and to be completely honest, it's by far the best one I've read. I was not a fan of The Sword of Shannara or The Wish Song of Shannara, and I haven't been a huge fan of the Heritage of Shannara series so far. But we will see if that changes. The only problem here is that since I'm not that gripped by the series, it's going to be a while until I finish it. But now I'm officially halfway through. I just have books 3 and 4 left. Anyways, let me know what you think of, this Shannara book, and I'll catch you next time.